Good evening, Carolina. Buzzing tonight.
How celebrity lookalike contests have taken over.
Which Netflix show just finished filming its sophomore season?
What to expect from the Wicked premiere and a new surprise.
And find out more about the SNL and Sabrina Carpenter crossover.
This and our opinions on these topics are coming up. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm Kennede Fleming.
And I'm Popielarczyk.
Do you think you look like a celebrity? Recently, there has been a trend of lookalike contests happening all over the world. It all started because a YouTuber named Anthony decided to put up flyers for a lookalike contest of Timothée Chalamet in New York City. The turnout for the contest was absolutely massive and gained national attention when the actual Timothée Chalamet showed up. Ever since then, there have been even more celebrity lookalike contests. Recently, there was a Zayn Malik lookalike contest and one for Jeremy Allen White. Future contests include Zendaya and even some for K-pop artists like Mark Lee from NCT. So, how do you feel about the lookalike contest?
I think some of them have been pretty successful. I saw the one with Jeremy Allen White on TikTok a few days ago, and I saw the one guy who was cousins with the one who ended up winning, and he was hyping him up in the crowd and telling everyone to vote for him.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Timothée Chalamet one kind of like fell off a little bit. I didn't think that the guy that won looked that much like him, but I'd be excited to see if they do more of these, because I feel like a lot of people out there look like celebrities and they don't even know.
For sure. I think, yeah, for the Timothée Chalamet one, it was like similarities more than it was like exactly lookalike. Yeah. But I can definitely see how he won, because it was probably mostly just the costume and the hair.
Yeah.
But I think like the actual person showing up was just really funny, because that just feels like something he would do. And he'd be like, yeah, you know what, let me just show up. He left before the actual competition could start, but like he had to do a little pop-up, you know? And then I think the one I'm most excited for is Zendaya, because Zendaya's a really hard one, because she's like super, super popular. And like if you don't look like her and you come up there and think you look like her, Twitter's gonna tear that person to shreds, for sure.
And also you've seen the people with like the costumes going full out with it, and they're trying to get us into like, I guess, the character of the human being as they can get. But also I feel like Zendaya, we've seen so many different eras from her, like Shake It Up and then Greatest Showman and now where she's at now. So I'm wondering how people would take that contest. Are they dressing up as like teenage Rocky Blue Zendaya from her Disney days, or are they going more for like MJ from Spider-Man? Like, it'd be interesting to see how they take it, because a lot of people can look like the different ages, you know?
Yeah. There is a lot to look through for Zendaya's like discography and everything like that. Because I also wonder, how do they pick the people to be up there? Because because for Jeremy Allen White, I heard that they had over like 50 people try and sign up, but only like, I think like 10 actually like appeared and were chosen. So it's like, how do they pick who is who? Do they have to sign up a little form, and then like they pick it based off what you're gonna show up as, or like if you actually genuinely like Zendaya? Because I know for what's it called? For Zayn, there was this one girl who was out there who looked like Baby Zayn, and it was like a very specific niche reference, and I was like, what is she doing out there? Like, what is going on? But I thought that was funny. You know?
Yeah, it would be interesting to know if there's some kind of like committee for these that are going through, and they're like, send in a picture of yourself and then we'll choose you from that. Because I know a lot of them, how they've been deciding is just audience participation and like the amount of applause and cheers that they get. So I guess if you can get enough people in a group to kind of get to cheer for your person, you don't actually have to be accurate. You just have to have the most fans there.
Exactly, because Zayn, the guy they picked was not accurate at all. Like, he didn't look like him. I think he was just a hot brown guy, and I think that was like his main thing, and that they just went with that, and that's how he won.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be interested to see if there's more of them, especially just because they're blowing up on TikTok, and a lot of them have been happening in New York City. So, I mean, those are the ones that I've seen, but if they expand, maybe they'll come to Columbia, and we'll have to figure out who we look like to see if we can get in on those. Maybe there's some cash prizes that could help pay for our groceries or something.
$500 coming to you soon in Columbia.
Just tell us who we look like, because we have no idea.
Exactly, please do.
There's some good news for Netflix teenage romance show lovers. My Life with the Walter Boys just wrapped filming for season 2. The Netflix original series first premiered in December 2023 and was renewed for a second season less than 2 weeks later. The show spotlights newcomers Nikki Rodriguez, Noah Lalonde, and Ashby Gentry as the love triangle cast. Suit star Sarah Rafferty also appears as Catherine Walter, the mother to both Lalonde and Gentry. The show is almost The Summer I Turned Pretty 2.0, with a few extra twists and turns that complicate relationships. Netflix has not yet released a release date, but is rumored that the sophomore season will be out in December 2025 if the schedule follows the same timeline as the first season. Kennedy, I'm not sure if this is a show that you watched, but it was one that I was obsessed with whenever it first came out. I'm one of those like binge it all in one day kind of people, and then I'm like, wait, where's the next season? I'm ready for it to come. So is that one that you saw, or just clips of it or anything?
I don't think I've ever seen that show.
Really?
I've never, like, I've heard of The Summer I've Turned Pretty, but I've never watched it.
Okay.
Like, I've seen clips of it, but I've never really had an interest in those.
I know that the first season, I believe, is based off of a book, but now with the second season, they don't have a book to go off of that. In one of the articles that I saw, the writer of the first book said that she's in the process of writing the second one, but it's not going to overlap with the show at all. Like, the show writers decided to take their own approach with it. So they won't really line up. So I'm like, does that mean there's two different, like, universes then?
Two different plot lines,
I don't know, because I think people do a lot with, you know, referencing the book and wanting to go by the book. So I'm anxious to see how it turns out, but it's very much The Summer I Turned Pretty. I've read all those books and watched that show, so then watching this one, I'm like, perfect, I'm waiting for the next season of that to come out, so might as well watch this one to kind of get my fix in.
Yeah. So wait, so does The Summer I Turned Pretty, is that season over? Or like have all the books been read through, or is that still going?
So they finished, or in the process of filming the third season right now. So everyone's waiting for the third season of that. So I'm like,
so
come on, we need things in between to keep us going with the love triangles, especially since, you know, it's always like the girl that's the outsider versus like the two brothers in the triangle. So it's like, how are you breaking up the family? Which brother are you going with? And it was definitely similar when it comes to like the endings of how both first seasons ended. Like they were kind of dating one brother, but then ended up like kissing the other at the very end of it. So then everyone's like, yay, this one, but no, this one, and all just back and forth. So, I mean, I know that it's kind of like cringy teenage romance drama, but like I'll eat it up every single time. I don't care if it's the same plot line 7 times.
Yeah, and you know what? I love that. I realized like the brother plot, like who do you end up with, is like really popular in television nowadays. And it's funny because I'm like, where did that even come from? Yeah. Like, why are you looking at the other brother because you like the other brother, but maybe you like both brothers, and then is it throuple? Like, what's going on? I'm confused, you're confused. And then, but it makes the show like much more fun, especially like with the jealousy part, because they literally live in the same house and you're somehow in that same house with them. Yeah. It's like, oh, there's a lot going on, but I like it.
But especially with this show, I think they have like 10 kids or something in the family, and then the girl who's like choosing between the two brothers ends up moving in with them. So it's like you got all this drama around you, all the plot lines with the other kids. It's a wild time. It's a lot to catch up with. But like now you have Thanksgiving break if you want to digest all those 10 episodes of that.
All the fun stuff.
You have time.
Yeah, I think the only season that I want another season of right now is called Interview with the Vampire.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that one.
It is about, it's this guy, right? And he gets turned into a vampire by another vampire. And they fall in love, right? And they have a daughter, but the daughter ends up leaving this earth by some way. You got to watch the show to figure out how she goes.
We won't spoil.
But it's like a horror thriller, like romance.
Oh, okay.
And it's odd because it's like any book that you've ever read, like on Book Talk and stuff like that. Imagine that, but in a live version. Okay. And it's not as scary as it is like spooky.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. A little bit like Vampire Diaries-esque, but also like somewhat Twilight-ish with the spookiness.
Exactly. Okay. And it's a really good mix of those two. So that's a season that I'm excited for. And then also too, I want another season of The Circle.
I haven't seen that one either, but I all my friends are telling me I need to watch it, so maybe that's one I need to binge too.
It is so good. Because I love a good real life drama, you know? Especially too, because like the season I'm watching now, they're not really playing the game strategically or smartly this time. It's really emotional right now. Okay. And it's like they're not trusting their senses, and so that's why they're a little stuck. And so I stopped watching it, and then I went to Glee. So I'm gonna come back when they
It's a
get
good
stuff
flip.
together. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any that I'm excited. I mean, obviously, Summer I Turned Pretty, just since I feel like that one's been so long in the making for season 3. That's one I've been hype about. But other than that, honestly, just any new show. I mean, Dancing with the Stars. We got the semifinals tonight, finals next week. But I need a good show to just come out with like all 10 episodes at once that I can just sit down over Thanksgiving break or Christmas break and just watch, because I love those bed rotting days where you can just be one with your TV or computer.
Yes, and that's exactly why I think we should bring back, release all 10 episodes at once.
Yes.
I'm sick and tired.
Outer Banks.
Oh,
I have issues with them
gosh.
right now. Don't do the part 1 and part 2, because at this point
What's
I'm
the
like,
point?
I know I'm too far
Right.
separated from the part 2 at this point. I just have like 2 episodes left, 3 episodes left, and I can't do it.
That's what I did with Bridgerton, because season 3 was rough. I was not into it. And then when they separated, I was like, no.
Yeah.
You lost me. You lost me. You'll see me at the last episode when they get married and they have the kids. But other than that, no. I'm tuning out.
It's like you need that long-term attention span, like for one day, but then I'll keep watching it when I'm cleaning, when I'm driving places. Like I'll turn it on to watch it. So don't worry about audience engagement. It is still there.
Exactly. I'm still gonna tune in at the end of the day.
Yes, and hopefully just like The Buzz too, everyone's tuning into this every week too.
Yeah.
Don't leave just yet. We will be right back with some more national entertainment news right after this.
If you love musicals and movies, then it's going to be an exciting weekend. The long-awaited Wicked movie is coming to theaters November 22nd. Adding to the excitement, yesterday it was announced that a special version of the movie would also be released. On December 25th, there will be a special showing of the Wicked musical that will be sing-alongs. Wicked is based on the prequel musical on Broadway about the friendship between Glinda and the Wicked Witch of the West and how it all went wrong. So make sure to grab your friends and family for this long-awaited movie. So, are you excited for Wicked?
I'm pumped. I know we've talked about it a lot the past few weeks on here, and it's always been a musical that I have like gone back to time and time again. I feel like Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel were some of like the first musical icons that I looked after. So I'm glad they're adding in the new, sing-along version, because me just sitting there in the theaters next week when I'm watching it, I'm gonna have to really shut my mouth, because as much as I want to sing along, I need to experience that for the first time and let everyone around me experience it without hearing my screeching voice, because I'll probably still be sick by then. So I'm glad they're giving people this option. It's kind of giving like Eras Tour, vibes a little bit.
I think it's really cool. Like, I love when they do sing-along things, like specifically for those fans. Because I already saw a bunch of TikToks about people going like, guys, I'm gonna be in the theater like this, trying to remain quiet. Because it's like, I mean, the soundtrack is amazing. I heard that they did cut a few songs, but they got the like biggest parts of the songs, which I'm really excited about, because I was listening to the album in my car, and I was singing the songs, and I was like, I cannot wait. Like, I cannot wait to see Ariana Grande's performance in this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really excited.
I'm anxious to see how she kind of like flips, because I know she obviously grew up a musical theater kid, but now going from that musical theater career back to pop, where she has a little bit of that airier tone, and now back to musical theater again, where you have to be bright and very enunciated. It's going to be interesting to see that flip that she does have, but those songs are just so good. And I mean, if I'm going to the movie theaters like multiple times while I'm home, just so I can sing at my screen, I mean, I think that's a great Christmas present. On December 25th, go sing my heart out. I mean, maybe I'll start dancing too. Dancing Through Life just like really gets it out of you.
Exactly. And then like Defying Gravity, that is such a karaoke in your basement kind of song.
Yes.
That you really got to go down there and do it. And then Popular, I'm gonna go crazy.
It's just too good to not vocalize to other people.
Exactly. And I know that Ariana Grande, she said that she canceled her, I forgot which tour it was, but she was going on tour during the time, and she was like, if I get this role, I'm completely blocking off this tour. Like, we gotta stop it. Like, I gotta go home. I gotta get the acting classes, the vocal lessons, and she wasn't even casted yet.
Yeah.
She came in with she said she came in with a pink water bottle and dreams, and she was like, I am gonna get this role. They made her sing for obviously both the characters, but she knew what she wanted. She came with the goal, and she got that.
Yes.
And then she locked in. And I was like, that's how you do it. Because I like, one thing I don't like about movies is that sometimes, like musical theater movies, is that sometimes they take just random celebrities and put them into musicals knowing they have no musical background. And it's really hard for them to blend in with what the movie's portraying. Like, what's that movie? Mean Girls, for example. We love Renee Rapp, and she's a very beautiful talented singer, but it's like in our minds now she's kind of like more of a pop star, like singer type thing, rather than like her gigantic reservoir of musical theater stuff. It's like we don't see her like that anymore.
Yeah.
But it's like she had that power to be Regina George. And that's what Ariana Grande has.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people are trying to get these musicals back to where they were whenever they first came out, so now they're turning them back into like musical movies like Mean Girls. I know Cats is an interesting subject for some people because I personally don't think I will ever watch that movie. My family's not a Cats family, musical, animal, any of that. Yeah. But I know when that first came out, they're like, okay, love seeing Taylor Swift, but like, why is she a cat? And then also, why are we putting James Corden in everything? Because yes, like I love him, I love his humor, but he doesn't have to be in every musical movie. No. He does not. But like, he was great in Into the Woods.
Yeah,
I thought he was amazing with that and with Emily Blunt and everyone else they had in that movie. So I think that was, a good way to go about making it a musical movie again. But I mean, we've heard there have been great reviews so far of Wicked, so hopefully that keeps going. And whenever we see it too, we think the same way.
Exactly. I'm really excited. But going back to the Cats thing, it was, how do I say, a rough watch. I felt very disgusted at times, and I was like, ew. Like, Cats is such a good musical because I did that. I did those like mixture of songs when I was in musical theater, and it was like really fun. And then I saw the live action. I was like, wow, that just really put me off. Because I do have a cat costume at home because of it.
Oh.
So seeing the live action just made me go, oh, well, I don't like that.
You're like, is that what I looked like when I did it? Because I will keep that costume in the closet where it belongs.
I was like, this is not very fun, but it was okay. And then James Corden, the way, because he did really good in Into the Woods, like you said, and then he also did good in Trolls.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. But other things, I'm just like, we can leave him in Britain. For something.
He's got his own show. He's killing it at that. And, I love seeing when he collabs with musical theater people on that. But, I think I'm just a musical kid through and through. Like, I'm not ashamed to say I'm a theater kid. And it will always be, music is so much easier to do than, like, anything else in this world. And that will always be, like, my go-to. So I'm excited to see the movie. And hopefully they keep going. I'm trying to think of other musicals that I'd, like, love to see on the big screen that I've always been obsessed with. Because, I don't know, I feel like definitely the original Newsies, but then when they did, like, the stage one where they had, like, Jeremy Jordan, just where they showed the show.
Oh, that was good.
Also when they did that with Hamilton, obviously, because so many people could not see that in person. But I don't know if that's when I'd want to see them, like, remake in person, because I don't think it would give the same way it gave, if that makes any sense.
Hamilton is a very on-stage show, and it can't be replicated in musicals, especially too because I kind of like how when it's on stage, like I'm not super into the settings, like the scenery and stuff, but if it was in real life, it'd be like it would be a war-torn city, and we're supposed to be jamming and like I'm past patiently waiting and the streets are just dead. I'm like, okay, well.
Some things just, they need to remain untouched.
Exactly.
Just keep them great, keep them fabulous, and we'll just sit back and continue to watch them.
Exactly. We'll be here to watch all the musicals that ever drop, ever.
And if they keep adding in some like pop singers to that too, like they did with Ariana Grande, I'd love to see like Taylor Swift or Sabrina Carpenter do their own version of that. I'm trying to think of what shows I'd love to see them in, but they would definitely devour any singing role.
They would eat. I think, oh my gosh, there was this one show. It was a show that had one of the guys from Key and Peele, and it was this couple, and they got stuck in a musical world, and Dove Cameron was in it. I cannot think of the name of it.
Oh, okay.
And it's a very niche show. I never even watched it, but I saw clips of it on TikTok, and I was like, this is so fun. It was Armageddon something, or Songageddon, I think. But those kind of shows, I think we should bring that back for more celebrities, because they always want to be in musicals.
Yeah, and they have the voice for it.
Exactly.
Throughout the Short and Sweet tour, pop singer Sabrina Carpenter has hosted tons of celebrities. Anyone from Millie Bobby Brown to former Girl Meets World cast member Danielle Fishel. But the guest star who took the cake for her appearances was night 2 of the LA tour stop. Marcelo Hernandez, known for his role on Saturday Night Live, showed up and was her fan selection for Juno. Hernandez's SNL skit Domingo went viral on TikTok after the espresso parody with Ariana Grande and others took the internet by storm. The cast also added to the skit last Saturday and performed a parody of Chappell Roan's Hot to Go. Hernandez dove deep into character at the tour stop and even sang part of his skit, substituting Sabrina's name into the tune. Fans all over freaked out over this crossover, some saying she had the chance to do the funniest thing ever, and did. Kennede, Sabrina Carpenter is just one of my icons that I will never get over. Loved her since when she was on like Austin and Ally way back in the day. I mean, little Lucy Gluckman knew what she was doing on that show. But I mean, I loved seeing the SNL crossover. I feel like so many people were saying that one TikTok trend that's, oh, I hope she plays Domingo. And they're like, this is a Sabrina Carpenter concert. But she did that, and so many people were happy about it. I know that last night she had her producer Jack Antonoff and his wife on there to have their little Juno cover moment too. So it's been nice the amount of celebrities she's done, but then also letting the fans have their own experience with it too.
Yeah, like one of my favorite things about Sabrina is how much she loves her fans and loves those fans' interactions, because she listens to them. Because I think for one of her Juno poses, a fan on TikTok did a pose and she said, oh my gosh, if Sabrina does this, I will like get a tattoo or something crazy. And she did it the next night, and I was thinking, wow, like she really cares about her fans. Because I mean, she brought out Domingo. Yeah. That's already iconic enough.
And I feel like a lot of people were saying they weren't too happy whenever they did like Hot to Go, but now like Domingo, because you know, they kind of made it a little cringier than they needed it to be. They could have left that untouched, just like the musicals. It was its own little era, its own moment, and could have, you know, sat in that. But also, if it's funny, it's gonna keep being funny. And you know, he had his moment, and I would hate if this is the only thing he's ever known for, but also I think he was amazing in that skit. And if he was only on there for, you know, 15, 20 seconds and doing his own little singing rendition of it, I mean, it's showing how good he is at his characters and can still, you know, land the jokes even when he does have to improvise, like, you know, when she was on stage. So it was a nice thing to see, and so many people are now, you know, of course, making that go viral too.
Yeah, it's good to see an SNL cast member truly be a funny character, and he can keep that funny character going. Because a lot of times, you know, it's a, like you said, people were saying it's a one hit and go, and then you just never come back to it. But it's like, if you have the opportunity to come back to something funny, do it again. Make it even better. Do it. They should do it with the most random 2000 song ever, like Yeah by Usher.
Yeah. I mean, why
they
not
could
try it out?
They could do it, cause he's also really funny just on the show. Period. From when I see other SNL clips on TikTok. And they're like, guys, he's been funny. Y'all were just sleeping on him. Catch up. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I might tune in just for him.
And I don't think this will be, you know, one thing where he'll just be known for this character. Some people might only think of him as that, but at the same time, maybe this was the skit and the character he needed to just launch the rest of his career, because he has been like going on different little tour stops and meeting people. And I know one of my friends at Syracuse got to see him a few weeks ago. He showed up there and did his own little, you know, stage moment. And I was so jealous because that was like right after Domingo, and he sang a little bit on stage for them. So, you know, it's those funny little niche moments that I feel like is a big inside joke, but also it's just fun for everyone involved.
Yeah, because in the future we're all going to be like, do you guys remember Domingo? And then you can search up the clip and it has 15 million views one day in the future, and we're all just like, absolutely, I remember Domingo, you guys remember Domingo.
And our kids are like, you're so old. Ew, like, that's from the 2020s.
Like, y'all weren't here when Sabrina Carpenter was on top. Y'all weren't.
Yeah.
And now they can experience it like we experienced our past childhoods, just like that.
Hopefully it keeps going. I mean, I love the skits, the comedy, and I think it brings a lot of light to people too. So, I mean, keep it up.
Absolutely.
That's all we have for tonight's episode of The Buzz.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at SGTV at USC.
To keep up with all of our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtv at usc.com. For SGTV, I'm Ali Popielarczyk.
And I'm Kennede Fleming. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great night, Carolina, forever to be.